This is Rating Descending,
where we watch IMDb's Worst 250 so you don't have to.
My name is Abigail Ward.
And I'm Michelle St. Clair.
And tonight, we watch The Comebacks, a comedy that spoofs inspirational sports movies. This movie is about an out-of-luck coach who drives a ragtag bunch of college misfits towards the football championship. Let's watch.
That's a wordy one. We had what would have potentially been our first correction or second correction, who knows, where long-term listener and friend of the podcast, Julian Leger, pointed out that the IMDb trivia from College Road Trip, that it was Martin Lawrence's first G-rated movie, was in fact false. But when I went to double check it to find which movies, I found that it is in fact actually true.
So wait, you got a correction and then you did a correction on the correction.
And if that isn't indicative of who I am as a person, then I don't know what is.
You had the time, huh, buddy? You had that bit of extra time, did you?
Sometimes people ask, hey, where's that edit I was waiting for? And you just don't want to send them something, you know?
You're too busy scouring Martin Lawrence's full discography.
Filmography. Thank you.
Fuck,
thank you.
Dude, he could have a discography. We will simply never know. There's no way of checking.
There's literally no way to check, as we've discovered with this rating system.
Not at all. Not whatsoever.
Just impossible.
That's good. I'm glad that you're out here correcting the haters, proving these awful haters wrong.
Yeah, notable hater of the podcast, Julian Leger.
Notable enemy of the podcast. Don't even think about trying to email us, guys. We will fuck you up every time, all right? Michelle's out here fucking browsing, Googling, clicking around.
You will discover if you email us that I may be busy, but I am a pedant till I die. Hang on, let me take that again. I'm a pedant. Hang on, all right, let me take that again. You fucking email us, oh baby, I'm gonna get you because
she's gonna get you because she's got the time. Clearly,
yeah, I got the time. Well, it's not so much that I have the time as much as I can't avoid just looking it up without derailing the rest of my day. Also, I need to go to the bathroom a lot, and I want to look at something on my phone.
Picture me this, all right? Picture this.
Okay.
Put this in your little noggin, right?
Uh-huh.
It's a little. You go into an old Blockbuster. It's 2006.
Okay.
You walk into an old Blockbuster down the road, and you pick up a DVD, and it's just called like Mischmelly or something. But then you look at the cover, and it's like a woman. It's
title.
you. It's like you, a woman, and like you look really scared and you're holding a torch or something. And then the back of it, no. Wait, scratch that. The person on the cover is like the entirety of our listenership, like a whole gaggle of people.
Holy shit.
And behind them is your face, but kind of like grayed out. It's like almost like a shadow of your face. And there's like a big black scary background. And the tagline of Mischmelly is like, she's got the time. And it's all these people looking scared.
It sounds like
right?
like a 1984 cover. It's just me as big sister looking over everyone going, yes, I've got the time.
She's got the time.
You try and email a correction. Hot damn, I'll correct you back.
That's so spooky. My question is, would you watch that film?
Would I watch a film about me as a, I guess, crypto-fascist correcting people? I don't know.
You're womansplaining.
Yeah, I will invent womansplaining.
Someone the other day was joking that like they got mansplained to by their doctor, and I was like, but he's a doctor. Like, I don't think that counts. That's editorializing. Like, I get that.
The medical...
I know what you're saying. Like, it's not the argument of like, this person was just complaining that a doctor told them anything. Like, yeah, he really mansplained that illness to me. And I was like, it sounds like he gave you information on the illness.
Because I was going to say, the medical industry has a long history of not listening to women's points of view, but...
It wasn't that. This was...
I am going there to...
Someone that went to a doctor for genuine medical advice and was like, I got mansplained too. And I was like... What? What? But it is genuinely like a problem. Okay, guys. All right.
Stuck the landing.
Let's get really serious on this. That was my perfect segue into that whole issue. And I really am. I'm a feminist.
Bail out. Yeah, I don't know if I would watch that movie. Am I starring in this movie of me?
Cut that whole bit.
Come on, fucking, you're nose diving. Pull up. Doctor, we're losing her.
I'm stuck on. Hey man, what kind of TikTok are you on? Because I am.
Oh Christ!
I'm in a dark end of TikTok at the moment. It's not interesting. It's also a lot of it is like women being like, my boyfriend's like fucking with me. A lot of it is like, my man is like emotionally abusing me, and I'm stuck in this terrible relationship, but I love him, and everyone's like, get out, girl. You deserve better.
Fuck?
You better leave his ass. It's all these like women pumping each other up, but it's all these women also stuck with terrible men, and they don't seem to know how to get out of this terrible relationship, and it's pretty tragic.
The whole I hate my partner, they're mean to me is so upsetting. What is going on?
And it's a lot of women being like, can I trust him? Like, let's test how loyal he is, and then doing something kind of manipulative to see how loyal their boyfriend is. It's just it's a bad place to be. It's a bad place to be.
As the product of my dad's third de facto marriage, I don't understand why people don't just leave the relationships they don't like.
Yeah. I mean, didn't your mom say that like she left your dad because she realized that when he was coming back from trips, she didn't want him to come back from trips? And she was like, that's a pretty good sign. I want to leave.
This is the perfect place to air that out. Yeah.
If you're listening, you're a queen, girl. Get it? Yes. Leave his ass. Dump him. Yes.
You got it.
Piece of shit. All right.
Do not say my dad's real first name.
Beep it out. Censor it. This week we watched The Comebacks.
He couldn't even keep. We came in with such a great energy, so laughing and high up. He couldn't maintain it for this movie.
I turned my mind to this movie and it just crashed my mood instantly. I was like, boy. We watched the 2007 comedy, The Comebacks.
One of my first thoughts about this movie was when people say that PC culture is ruining comedy, this is the comedy that they're referring to that is getting ruined, and good. It should get ruined. This is not.
Yeah.
This list is so fascinating because sometimes it is like the heavy hitters of bad movies. You know, we've had Jason Takes Manhattan. We've had Highlander 3. And then sometimes it's like Yogi Bear, where it's like, why is this on here? And then we get things like this where coming to it, you're like, this seems like it's not going to be that bad. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, geez. So this is why I never heard about this.
Yeah, and it's so weird because it's like it's a spoof, right? It's like sending up a bunch of sports movies. The films that do like a spoof of a genre was like already dated by 2007 anyway. Yeah. But at least like when I think about Scary Movie, for instance, Scary Movie is just as stupid as The Comebacks in some respects. But also controversial maybe, but I fucking love Scary Movie. And I was thinking about what differences there were between The Comebacks and Scary Movie. And I think it's just that Scary Movie still had a plot that you could hang on to through the jokes.
Yeah.
It's not like there's ever really a moment that you're actually scared, but it still ties together well as a film. And there's some jokes that, even though there's some really crass jokes, but there's also some smarter jokes than say The Comebacks, but every joke in The Comebacks was just completely like piss fart shit, getting a boner.
Think about some of the classic parody movies, right? Like Flying High or Airplane in America, I think, or like Hot Shots, right? Like those still have plots. Like those are still functional movies. They're all just they're just also highly farcical. Right? And that's part of where it comes from. But it's still like a functioning movie with a protagonist with a goal who does things to achieve them, right? Like there's stuff happening. The complete like absence of plot sucks all of the energy out, and like comedy with no energy is intolerable.
Yeah. I feel like the person that did the best job in this film was the woman who played Barb, who is Jan from The Office. Like,
yes,
what's her name? Laura Harden. I feel like she did the best job in this film because she's always just funny and extreme. I think that she was really fun to watch. And the lead, like, what's his name? David Koechner?
David Koechner. I'd always heard it as Koechner, but maybe it's not. But I'm going to continue to say Koechner because fuck that guy. By the way, I never would have predicted the reality that Melora Hardin appears on this list twice before David Koechner appeared once. Like, that surprised me.
Wait. What else has she appeared in so far?
Wasn't she in the Hannah Montana movie as the...
Oh, yeah.
The lady mechanic that Miley's dad is like... A woman?
Oh my
She's
God,
kinda hot.
that's right. So
Yeah.
she's been in this once before.
Yeah.
But like those two leads, like, look, I feel like they were fine. But then like I feel like every performance in things like Scary Movie or an Airplane, like there's so many good comedic performances, whereas
Yeah.
this really had one or two. And then everything else was just a flop and no one else was really very funny. Like you need good comedic actors.
When the biggest comedic actor you can get to frontline your movie is David Kushner, you know you're in trouble, right? Like
David Kushner was just, I think, cemented in every millennial's memory as that guy from Anchorman.
Yeah, he has one character, which is I'm really obnoxious and a little sexist and horny. And he also
Yeah.
plays that character in The Office. He plays that every time. It makes me think
Yeah.
that's just him.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
100%. I also feel like he looks like 5 different other comedic actors that I can never put my finger on. Like I feel like I always
It's because he's
confuse him with
bald and
other
mildly
actors.
chubby. Like that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. He has like the same style of humor as a bunch of comedic actors. But I love Melora Hardin. I'm here for her.
She's
I
great.
love whenever she crops up in anything. I genuinely think she's really funny. Her as Jan is iconic. It's a great performance. We love you, Melora
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Hardin. Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, Melora Hardin.
Unlike Julian.
Yeah, like Julian Legere.
But Melora, please write to us and give us correction. We'll happily take your corrections, Melora.
I have literally taught the dinner party episode of The Office in classes because of how much I think it's a like masterwork
She took
of
me
comedy.
by the hand. I'll do the overview so
Yeah.
we can talk about these bits. So this film was made in 2007. It has 4.3 stars on IMDb. It was directed by Tom Brady. I looked up this guy. This dude fucking went to Harvard on a writing scholarship
Oh my god.
and went on to create films like The Comebacks, The Animal, starring Rob Schneider, and The Hot Chick, starring Rob Schneider.
Wow, you know what they say, like those Ivy League educations really do like promote the best of the best, which in the case of all of those movies, deeply transphobic and racist, just like Harvard itself, like
Oh, yeah.
It's
I mean, do
incredible.
we even want to go into that scene where they talk about Venus Williams versus Maria Sharapova, and then they...
the gag is black woman is actually a big muscular man. Ha ha ha. Your transphobia is always rooted in racism. It's terrible.
Yeah, 100%. They're holding one another's hand in that scene. And then
Yeah.
Maria Sharapova is like stripped naked. Like it's not really her, but the woman playing her is stripped naked and everyone's like taking photos of her beautiful body. It's
So weird.
Fucked up.
It's like
I
saying
was
the
like,
quiet part out loud. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, this is just so outright offensive. Should we bring it up in our comedy podcast?
Yeah.
What a bummer.
It's like what we've said before with some of
Boo.
these movies where it's like, I'm getting baited into saying, oh, this is offensive. It is. But it's also like not a funny joke. And that
No.
upsets me just as much.
100%. I'm more annoyed that I can't pull anything funny out of it. That's not true. I'm worried. I'm offended about the joke. I'm a feminist. Guys, I'm a good person. Here's the
Yes, famous refrain of good people. I am a good person.
good person.
Believe me.
Also, this was written by Ed Yeager and Joey Gutierrez, and I couldn't find any interesting things that they have written. Here is the overview. Coach Fields is an incompetent coach convinced by fellow coach Wiseman to return to the field for one last shot. Assuring his long-suffering wife Barb that he will not ignore his family, the coach moves to Texas where he hopes to redeem himself and his reputation. As the coach of the football team of the Heartland State University, he's saddled with a team of misfits. However, the coach's absence in his family's life leads Barb to cheat on him. The coach uses his unorthodox methods to help whip this group of ragtags into shape and make it to the South-Southwest Conference Championship at the second annual Toilet Bowl.
Oh my
The
god.
comebacks face off with the Lone Star State Unbeatables. The comebacks are victorious and the coach reunites with Barb. That's it. Like, it's a very simple plot. It's because it's a spoof on a sports film, it has the formula that it follows. So it's like, it's all just gags around this very, very small plot.
You say that it's a simple plot. At the same time, I was watching this just sitting on the couch. My girlfriend was there. And then I was like, okay, well, at least it's wrapping up. And then, like, it kept going, and I was like, wait, what? And I checked it, and like halfway through. I fully thought the movie was over, and I was so disappointed to find out there was a full 45 minutes left.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point.
It felt like it was building up to the game, to the big game, which it was, but it didn't tell me which big game. So they have the big game and they win. And I'm like, great, they fucking did it. They nailed it. And then it continues.
You know how what I really value about these films is when they are short.
Yeah.
When I'm opening up the file, when I'm watching this film on my little laptop, I look immediately at the timestamp, the time code, just to see how long I have to spend suffering through this, like the monstrosity that awaits me. And when I saw that the Comebacks was 1 hour and 45 minutes long, I was like, how dare you squeeze an unnecessary extra 15 to 25 minutes out of my life. How fucking dare you? I know you could tell the story in 80 minutes, but you refuse to.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know why.
You're a parody movie. You don't need to be any longer than 90. Come on.
You're not
get into it.
We know that you're not here to win any awards. You're here to make a bit of money. So why don't you keep it to a tight 80? Let everyone go home early.
I got good news, guys. If you make it 90 minutes, it's going to be cheaper. Come on. Don't worry about it.
I got kids to feed, man.
Hey, make
I got
it
a wife.
80. They'll buy it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's... I think that the fact that it had this, like, because you're right, you're watching it and you're like, shouldn't have this have ended like 20 minutes ago? Like, why am I still here suffering through David Kushner's terrible jokes?
Well, it's again because they have the big game they're building up to in the middle. There is another big game later, but that's why it was confusing. Where they face the condom team, the magnums or whatever. Which, okay, so this is what gets me. There's like a big circle that is clearly a condom, and then they break it open, and then like in the formation that from a side angle looks like a dick. A joke that is like, haha, it looks like a dick. Never that funny, but in this I was like, you know what? That's not like the worst joke in the world, is that they're the condom team, but it's not like they don't know. It's that they fully know and own it. I kind of like that. And then my girlfriend was like, that makes sense that they broke open a condom. They're all a mistake. And I was like, fuck, I'm not going to think of anything funnier than that on the recording at all.
Nice.
So
Let's get Brooke
good.
in here. Has she got half an hour to spare?
No. Hey, no. Come on.
I don't need you anymore, Michelle. Can you just do the old swapperoo? I'll wait. Oh, wait. I've got the time.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. La,
Hi, Brooklyn.
Uh-oh. I got poopy in my pants. Oh, Brooke, that's crazy. I bet you can't host this. Got him.
No. We're very supportive of poopy and pants in this podcast. I'd actually love to talk to you about that.
I love straight TikTok. I also hate... I don't know.
You're okay?
I don't know. It's so hot. I thought I would have... have more brain juice going, and then halfway through I'm like, I don't know where this joke is going. It's not going anywhere.
I could tell. Usually, if anything, I have to make you stop a bit because it's gone for too long. And today I feel like you get halfway through a bit and you're like, fuck it, man. I'm fucking done.
It's so hot in this room. I barely slept. This is the most rested that I've felt this week, and it's still like half of the amount of well rested I normally am.
Look,
when we record.
Let's take a moment. Let's do a little Michelle 5-minute rant corner. You go for it. And keep it in. Let's have a rant. Get it out.
I've been tired. I don't like it when it's hot. When it's hot, you're just really sweaty, and there's like a certain amount of clothes you can take off, and then you either cannot because of society, or it is just your skin, and I cannot remove that as of currently. When it is cold, I can simply get a blanket or perhaps a jacket or coat. It's great. I love it. When it's hot, I'm just sweaty, and that's it. I don't like being wet all over my body. I like being wet in like a couple of key places occasionally, but all day? That's crazy. This is uncomfortable as a feeling.
You do look juicy in that room.
Thank you. It's because I've got a new skincare routine, so I'm glowing, but also because all of the water in my body is slowly coming out of my body. A process that happens, I guess, to most people, but usually in
you're not special.
More dedicated increments rather than slowly over the course of a few hours. I'm really putting my best foot forward in this episode.
Well, I've got aircon, so I feel great.
Oh, fuck you.
Aircon has changed my life, guys. Listeners, We're from Melbourne. It is currently, like a 31, 32 degree day, which isn't like the hottest, but it's not great. It is the middle of summer. It is vivid and blue outside. We're in the depths of summer. And I have, for the first time in my life, I am living in a house with aircon throughout it. I could never go back.
God damn you. I am in a room that it gets actively hotter than it is outside.
Oh, I used to live in the current room. I used to go to bed every night.
You used to live in this room.
In the current room you're recording from that you've converted into an office.
And then one day you escaped.
It was hellish. One day I got out the window, you left it just a tiny bit ajar, and I got my little leggy out of it and scooped it open, and you never saw me again.
Spiders crawling out of a hole. That was you, like, getting out of the window. And I
dug a tunnel behind a poster slowly over many months.
Yeah, I came and I saw the poster of the old actress that the poster is of. Who the fuck is it? Who the fuck is it? Don't let me embarrass myself like this. In the movie in Shawshank, who's the fucking poster? Who is the poster? It's fucking someone. Gilda Radner? Rita Hayworth. I came into the room and I thought Rita Hayworth poster.
You nailed it. You got it.
I fucking did it. Yes.
She's going feral, guys. It's the heat. She's turning her feral. But I feel cool as a cucumber in my air-conned home.
I will say, to get back on track, one of the reasons that I thought the midpoint was the end of the movie is because like they have this like big argument in their locker room. And then as the argument is winding down, the coach has failed to stop it. It just cuts to this shot of someone putting an 8-track, like old pre-cassette tape 8-track of It's Raining Men into a little like stereo amplifier thing and plays it through the PA system. And then everyone in the room starts like singing along to it, like to the camera as like a breaking the wall bit. And then it starts to look like a fucking sports variety show or halftime show or something as like other like, I guess mascot-y looking things come in. And then it's all like little like squares, rectangles, like moving around the screen. What gets confusing is that it also then cuts to other characters in other locations also lip-syncing along to It's Raining Men. No, it's not It's Raining Men. It's Don't Stop Believing. It's Raining Men is earlier.
I'm really glad you clarified because my immediate follow-up question was was going to be, did I miss something? Because I remembered the Don't Stop Believing bit, but I never saw the It's Raining Men bit.
The Don't Stop Believing bit, yeah. And they're doing that, and I was like, is this the credits? What is going on? Like, it really felt like it was like, yeah, this is the end of the movie, and then it's going to cut to directed by Tom Brady, and like have someone dancing, and then like have the actor's name next to it. And then it was like 45 minutes in. It wasn't even the midpoint yet. It was just a strange thing that happened like 40 or so minutes into this movie.
Everything in this film is just like it's a long sequence of bits that you don't fully understand and you're not sure where it's placed. It's a long sequence of question marks, Michelle. I want to fucking talk about all of the weird cameos that also fucking appeared in this film.
Oh,
like, not only do we have like David Kushner as the lead, and you've got Carl Weathers obviously as Coach Wiseman, and we've got Melora Hardin, but also like we had like Andy Dick pop up as like the toilet bowl referee. We've also got Bradley Cooper as a cowboy. There was and Dax Shepard as a sheriff.
The one scene that had Dax Shepard, Will Arnett, and Bradley Cooper all pop up at the same time.
Will Arnett was a mailman as well. It's wild. And then you also had Eric Christian Olsen as the foreign exchange student, who to me that guy's face is so embedded in like mid 2000s TV and like fucking teen films.
Who on earth are you talking about?
That guy, the foreign exchange student that has sex with Melora Hardin's character, with Bob.
Oh, he's a person? Oh, no, yes, that guy. Yes, you're right. He's in Community, and he was in that show In the Loop. Yeah.
He was also in like Not Another Teen Movie. Like he was in a bunch of shit around that time.
Yeah, he
very
really
distinct. Like
had like a solid 3 years of a career and then just fucking bounced.
He's like one of those actors, like for me, he's like a Chad Michael Murray where he belongs in the mid 2000s only.
Or like a Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh my God, Freddie Prinze Jr. I watched She's All That for the first time, like actually a couple years ago, not even recently. That guy is not talented.
Brutal. Was she really all of that?
Look, I'll just tell you, do you want the spoiler?
Yeah.
She's all that.
Oh.
She is.
Oh, so like
she's all that.
I guess so it's an accurate title then.
Yeah.
Seems like a less interesting story though.
Well, like the film is about him learning that, like she's all that.
But it was in question at the very least. Does she begin the movie already all that?
Well, no, because at the beginning, he doesn't think she's at all that.
Right.
However,
okay.
as the film goes on, we understand as the viewer, and she understands too, that she is in fact all of that.
Yeah, she is all of that.
I feel like if you
in question being a big mound of slime. She is all of that. That is controlling her.
I know that if I ask you what you mean by that, I'm technically blocking you, but I feel like you also blocked me by just saying that in the first place. I feel like I got socially just blocked.
Sorry. She is actually the mound of slime. And
She's all that.
he doesn't think that she is. So there we go.
We need to get Michelle some aircon, man. This is... What kind of radio is this?
Hey, don't take my line. This is bad radio.
This is not good radio. That's your tagline. You
It
say it to
kinda
me
is.
basically every time we record because
Well,
I
it's
want to
'cause
tell
you-
you about my bodily fluids.
Or about some fucking, like, animal that's been abused and tortured for 20 years or something.
Or I burp.
Or you
I
burp.
do that a fair bit. I haven't
And
burped
insist-
yet. I haven't burped. Probably won't burp. Like, I'm just telling you guys, listeners, if you're at home wondering when the inevitable burp is going to
This
occur,
is not
I don't
good
think it's gonna
radio.
happen.
If you'll burp.
Michelle, would you like to play some bets on if I will or won't burp?
No! I want to talk about the movie.
You're the only one that wants to talk about this movie, all right? We're just all trying to have a good time, me and the listeners. You're over here being like, me, the comebacks, the purpose of the podcast. We're just trying to hang out, man. And you're a fucking buzzkill, all right? You're a fucking Debbie Downer. You're
I
fucking raining
thought
out fucking parade, all right? This is Johnny Rain Cloud.
Or ACL tear was kind of good. I thought he was charming, and I think the gag of him being ACL tear almost worked, and then they overdid it. Like,
I love how
when-
now we're just trying to ruminate on any joke that could have landed. That's what this
there's
episode
no
is about. We're
plot
like,
to
which
talk
bit-
about.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, okay, so which bit did we not hate? Like, which bit did we almost have a chuckle at?
Because
Like,
I want
which
to
bits can we
say,
tolerate?
you guys who worked in the movie, that 5 minutes was a good job.
I think every scene with Barb in it, I was there for. But it's just
Yeah.
because I wanted to see Melora Hardin's face. That's all I have.
I know that what gets me about it is I know the writers understand the mechanics of comedy better than this, right? Like, that's what I mean with the ACL tear joke, is that, like, it right in the beginning, he says his name is ACL tear, and then the guy himself corrects David Kushner by going, it's a seal tearee. And we're setting up a thing where he's going to tear his ACL, a very common injury in American football. And then in the big game, he's like, it's clear the setup. He's the ringer. He's going to go in. And then he gets knocked down, but he gets up, right? He hasn't torn his ACL. And he's like, I did it. And we're like, oh, cool. And then, like, wham, he gets hit by a bus. And everyone's like, holy shit. And it's like, that kind of works. That's like a surprising gag. He's like, I am injured. But then he gets back up and then he, like, gets shot by someone randomly. And then I'm like, you did the injury thing, but you just made it so much, like, you had it. You had it. I was this close to give it going, you know?
You were halfway through a little...
And that really... If we can get the listeners to do that, then at least we've outdone the comebacks. And I think that's all we need to do to say that we have the authority to continue to do this podcast.
I don't think there's much competition as to being funnier than the comebacks.
Yeah, I mean, there's more parody movies. What is it, by the way, with like the mid to late 2000s in parody movies? I feel like they made 3 a year for like 4 years and then stopped. Because they were like, we did it.
We have, you've got like that epic movie, that superhero movie,
on
that
the list,
teen
on the
movie.
list, on the list.
Yeah.
None of them have that at the beginning.
Oh, just superhero movie.
A superhero movie, epic movie, not another teen
Scary
movie. Or
movie,
is it
obviously.
Scary movie 1 through 5.
Yeah, you gotta.
But then there's also like Vampires Suck, the We're Not That Hungry games or whatever that one is. A lot of these are on this list and we will get to them. There's going to be so much of this.
What I enjoy on this list is the films that are like genuinely trying to be good films. And then when we encounter films like this where it's like they know what they are, it's just meant to be a shitty comedy, they are either enjoyable, they're either like the best or the worst as well. Because Some of them where it's like, we know what we are. I don't judge it. I'm like, all right, you knew you weren't going to be a great movie, so I can't really like feel that angry about you being here or having to watch you on this list. But it's when it's like I want to watch these films because I want a really enjoyably bad experience. And when you watch these like subpar comedies, you're like,
But I think it is trying to be funny. I think it's just
trying to be funny.
It's trying to be funny to middle-aged sports dads who I think don't like movies in general. I think that's the honest answer.
Do you want to hear some trivia?
I'd love to.
IMDb trivia.
The coach's name, Lambeau Fields, is a play on Lambeau Field. It's a play on Lambeau Field, the home of the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, I know. I mean, I've heard of that name of sports team, so I assume that means it's a big one.
Michelle, you might have thought that perhaps in preparation I would have looked up where the Green Bay Packers are from, and I have no idea. They're from Wisconsin, so you were right.
We should have talked about sports in the intro, which is like what we know about sports. That would have been on theme.
It would have been a very short intro then. The boy, they hit the ball into the goal. They hit the ball in the goal.
Hey, some sports can be good.
Like what?
Well, what I'm saying is sports aren't inherently more or less entertaining than a lot of other things, right?
That's true. I would love to make an active effort to get myself into baseball because I think baseball has a charm to it. But I also, every time I do it, I'm like, I'm actually not enjoying myself watching this.
I think that the nature of it being real people doing real things means there's like a lot of time that if it was a curated thing like a movie or a TV show or a video game, you could cut out.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like watching, I mean, this is why watching other people play games is entertaining, but they often give their own commentary. There's some games where you're just like wandering around hitting things, and I'm like, I want to watch the bits where stuff happens, you know? I don't need to watch you going from here to there, Red Dead Redemption. Stop making me just ride a horse somewhere and just fucking take me there.
The only sport that I used to like watching as a kid was tennis, and it's because I like the sound of the ball getting hit by the racket.
That's it. And she goes for the hit.
Bling. This is not good radio.
This is peak radio.
If I just let her, she should just go on forever if I'd allow her to. Michelle like waits for this cue to stop the bit rather than making an active decision on her own end to stop a bit. She'll just keep going, man.
You and I used to take 40 full minutes to go to bed because we would stand in the hallway doing bits at each other.
We love a bit.
Until one of us got bored.
Michelle, this film was not screened for critics.
Yeah, they don't need to see this.
No.
If I made this movie, I'd be like, I know what they're going to say.
Yeah. There's no purpose. There's truly no purpose. Why put them through it? I actually
No
think
one's
that's
going to
a
be
noble
like,
sacrifice.
son, the reviews for sports movie aren't very good. You sure you still want to go?
There are 21 sports movies spoofed in this film.
Wow.
There's 11 football films, which are, and I'm going to list them for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Necessary Roughness, Rudy, Jerry Maguire, Any Given Sunday,
Wait,
The
Jerry Maguire's a
Replacements.
football movie?
Dude, I didn't know that either. I've never seen Jerry Maguire.
What? Isn't that the movie about the little boy who... That's Billy Elliot. I'm thinking Billy Elliot. Yeah, sure, Jerry Maguire might be about
Okay,
football.
I know enough about Jerry Maguire that the fact that you've mistaken the two is very funny. Show me the money. Show me the money, Billy. Remember the Titans, Radio, Friday Night Lights, The Longest Yard. I've never seen any of these. Invincible,
I know of a lot of these.
Gridiron Gang, and then 2 basketball movies, Coach Carter and Glory Road. Still, I'm at an absolute 0.
Okay.
2 boxing movies, Rocky, have seen it. Rocky Balboa for 2006, haven't seen it. 1 baseball movie, Field of Dreams, have seen it. 1 soccer movie, Bend It Like Beckham, classic.
Yeah.
1 surfing movie, Blue Crush, haven't seen it. 1 hockey movie, Miracle. 1 dodgeball movie, Dodgeball. And 1 gymnastics movie, Stick It. That is a lot of
Wow.
movies.
I have seen a shockingly high number of those. I hated the bit where they were parodying Dodgeball, amongst other things, because I hate when parody movies parody a comedy, especially one that is already quite farcical. It's just telling me how unoriginal you are.
Dodgeball is literally like it's called Dodgeball: A True Underdog Story, and it's making fun of like the classic underdog trope about like a team facing off with another team. It's already a parody on sports films.
There's a term in comedy which is wearing a hat on a hat. This is like wearing a hat on a hat on a hat. Like it's you're incepting to the fourth layer of comedic joke, and you've lost all value. Now you are stuck in the incepted dream space, going, "Where is the joke?" And you're just hearing, out in the ether in the distance, going, what am I parodying? What am I doing? Where am I? Where am I going? What is happening? And you're lost forever. You know that bit in Inception?
And in the distance, like you're also hearing, like someone's got the tennis on. Oh, Wimbledon, yeah. So wait, what you're saying is that, like, just to clarify, it's like not cool to like wear like a hat on top of a hat. Like that wouldn't be cool if like someone like me was wearing like two hats at a time. Like it wouldn't be like you'd think it's like it's not cool like to wear.
Yes,
like two.
Abigail,
is it cool
I am saying that I did not like your New Year's outfit, okay?
Well, why didn't you just say it at the time?
I did, repeatedly. You couldn't hear me. There were too many hats in your ears.
They were very heavy.
And they're very thick.
Very long.
It's the middle of summer.
Went right over the head. Some would call them a balaclava. Balaclava.
It's
balaclava.
It's baklava. And it's fucking Mediterranean. You're
my last
covered
piece
in
of
honey.
What's new, Michelle? Here's my last piece of trivia. There are 2 spoof references in the movie to the Duke lacrosse team, of which 3 players were falsely accused of rape in 2006. I find it really odd that there's 2 spoof references to this case because it's like a really landmark case where essentially these 3 lacrosse players were like accused of rape, and then the case was dropped because they felt like the guy, like the district attorney that was in charge of the case, was like intimidating the victim.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a terrible case. It's like it's when you look at like the wiki of it, it's incredibly detailed because there was so much news coverage and so much information about it, and just the fact that this film did a spoof reference on like a real rape case happening at the time, not a vibe, not a good time. Do you want to hear some reviews?
I'd love to, pretty please.
Reviews!
Michelle. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film has an approval rating of 9%. The critical consensus reads, full of groin-centric humor and tired sports cliches, The Comebacks is poor even by parody movie standards.
It is.
This is a review left by J.R. Jones of the Chicago Reader. Someone should tell these guys you can't score a touchdown throwing lateral passes.
What?
What? Literally, I was like, that looks really funny. I don't know what lateral passes is.
Well, sideways, but can't you? I know in rugby, my brother and my dad are really into rugby, so I've had to see it several times as they go, you'll get it. I don't. They constantly pass sideways to throw it to someone else so that they continue to run forward. Do you not do that?
Score a touchdown throwing lateral passes, Michelle, as J.R. Jones has just told us. Has anyone tried?
Yeah, has anyone tried?
I don't think the rules of sports rely on people trying or not. You know, I think it's.
Yeah, it does. You got to try a new thing. Where in football, in American gridiron football, does it say don't pass sideways? Huh? Show me that clause. Sandy?
Really didn't think you were going to die on this hill, Michelle Sinclair, but
I am.
No
My extensive sports knowledge,
which we have absolutely confirmed. Here is a review left by John Monahan of the Detroit Free Press, my favorite publication. There is no I in team, but there are 3 in idiotic. And idiotic more or less describes the appeal of the comebacks. A so stupid it's funny spoof of inspirational sports dramas.
Yeah.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, you're right, man.
This is an IMDb review left by DJ Gold, 1999. And it's a 10 out of 10 review titled Absolute Classic. Tom Hanks big, beyond weak. But this movie isn't. I'd like for someone to explain to me what's so horrible about this movie. It's a perfect cast, hilarious movie, has enormous amount of replay value. Oh, I forgot. Tom Hanks isn't in it.
What? True.
This guy's got a vendetta.
True.
Movies are to entertain an audience. People don't turn into weak-minded drug addicts or into alcoholics. If something can put a smile on my face and make me laugh, most likely it'll make me primitive because the movie didn't make much money or have big name stars in it. So this guy's got the biggest chip on his shoulder, and it's like all Tom Hanks related.
This guy definitely complains about elites and he means Jewish people, right? Like that's
someone with no funny bone in their body or who doesn't like women wouldn't like this movie. It's a wait. Wait. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, no, feminist classic The Comebacks.
It's a feel-good movie when you want to break something, but have a positive mind to cut this on your DVD player. Pure classic. Enough said. 10 out of 10.
Oh my God.
The fact that it begins with Tom Hanks big beyond weak, but this movie isn't.
I don't know how he connected that dot so hard of Tom Hanks in this movie.
I just love, and like someone with no funny bone in their body or who doesn't like women wouldn't like this movie.
Which implies that this is only a movie for people like who very much respect women, which is a very odd stance given a lot of the content in this movie.
It's due to Barb's really thorough character development. It's due to the fact that the daughter has a lot of scenes where she reveals her bra. She has footballs on it. It makes sense. This is the last review from IMDb. It is left by Snake Woo Frost, and it is a 9 out of 10 review. And it is labeled most underrated comedy of 2007. Don't look other people critics. Heck, stop reading this also. Just put your brain to a side and have a good laugh. 9 out of 10. And it's so true because sometimes I look other people critics, but then when I think about it, I'm like, no, you know what? Don't look other people critics. And I'm going to put my brain to a side.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'm stuck in my head. I'm thinking too much. And then I put my brain to a side and I go,
and you don't look at
relax.
other people critics. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I relax.
So
I relax. And then I can watch some good old-fashioned, wholesome content. That's the thing that gets me about that first reviewer. I don't understand how there is such like a circular Venn diagram of people who really believe in like high moralistic culture, nothing depraved or degenerate, who like movies like this.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, that was their review of The Comebacks. What's your review of The Comebacks?
Oh, you're never going to believe this, but I did not like it. Because it doesn't have a plot, it's not a movie, which is the thing I keep coming back to. It is like a string of sketches that someone is describing to you, and only 3 of them are actual sketches, right? There's moments where I smile, like the moment where It's Raining Men does play and they're dancing in the laundry, and like, I know the joke is meant to be, hoo-hoo, manly footballers doing feminine thing, but actually the consequence is that I'm just watching people have a good time doing a dance, and that's fun and entertaining. But that's like, it's entertaining despite everyone making it, not because of any intentional gags, which is a crime.
Yeah.
It's also hard not to forget how repeatedly sexist and racist and transphobic it was, even though I know it's trying to be like, nah, bad, don't like it, don't do it. I'm going to give it a 1.9. It's just not quite a movie. Below a 2, my threshold.
I getcha. Honestly, I think it does feel like a movie visually, emotionally. I'm not so sure. I didn't like the gags. The cast was really lackluster. Like, found it really just fucking hard to get through as well. Like, I felt like a film that was definitely a slog. Like, my mood tanked while watching it. I was like, this is hell. What have we put ourselves? Why are we doing this to ourselves? I can't believe we're taking the time to watch this fucking garbage. I'm going to give it a 2.1 out of 10.
Ooh, okay. You liked it more.
Just a little bit. Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, Michelle, that was The Comebacks. Don't forget to follow us on social media, guys. You can find us on Twitter under Rate Descend Pod. You can find us on TikTok under Rating Descending. Or you can email us at ratingdescending@gmail.com.
But be fucking warned, I'm going to correct you back, bitch.
She's got the time, baby.
I got the time. Or please join us and follow us on our own social media. You can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at michelle.stclair.
And you can find me on Instagram under Abigail J. Ward. It's the really hot and sexy one.
Yeah. Or, pretty please, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify's new review feature, which is cool, or anywhere else where you could review podcasts.
Yeah, we know
just
you
not aware
suckers use a lot of Spotify, especially in Australia. So if you're using Spotify, you get on that review section and you leave us a review and you say, hey, I love this podcast. Super baffled by how hot and sexy Abigail is. Cannot stop looking at her Instagram. It's become a problem. We're talking about it at couples therapy, but really love the podcast, guys.
I told you you shouldn't read my girlfriend's review out loud on the podcast, all right? That's crazy.
Come on, you gotta do that review in Brooke's voice, obviously.
No, I'm not doing this. I want to do it different. I want to have the recurringness of my girlfriend be different than this.
You started it, man.
I know, and I resent it.
Well, that was the comebacks. What are we watching next week, Michelle?
Oh, baby. Next week, we are watching Stephen King adaptation Cell, as in, like, cell phone, cell signal. It's got John Cusack and Sam Jackson.
Oh, jeez. All right.
I think it's about how, like, phones make people zombies. It sounds like some mad boomer.
Oh, my God.
Image. So excited.
So it's basically like technology has ruined this generation in a film.
Yeah, but through the eyes of Stephen King.
Oh, boy. All right. I guess we're doing it.
Hi, I'm Stephen King. I'm here to spook you out with cell phone.